Can you take the water?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Even if it's long enough that they know stuff.
Let me go ahead and dump out this pool water. And then we can put the hose in here. Go ahead and release the chickens as well. grab a scoop of feed for the other boy. He's still sitting in quarantine. So with these metal tins, I labeled who they go to, because just looking at their feed, it'll be hard to truly know which one is which. I think theirs might be a little greener, but I don't want to chance it since chicken feed will have too much calcium for rabbits, and I think rabbit feed has too much protein for chickens. So we're just going to keep them separate and make sure we label them. Right. You want to carry that? Let's go to see how the water is inside their run. Yep, they need water as well. They need some more water. Yep. Excuse me.
That's good enough.
All right. Alright, let's go on ahead and go in here. Yep, the Buff Orpingtons and the Rhode Island Reds are definitely the nicest out of the three. These hybrids, they're silky and quote-unquote meat rabbit. And I mean, they're interesting. They're all black comb, black wattle, black legs, black face, black feathers, a little bit of brown in the feathers. They're very pretty, but they're not the nicest chicken. All right, so let's grab this water, get this to the chickens, and maybe we can talk about the garden real quick. It's been a while since I brought you guys to this garden. It's kind of exploded a little bit in the last couple of weeks. Come on, guys. Go. So in their covered run, I go ahead and hang their feeder in the water. Hanging the feeder means that they're not scratching the food all over the place and wasting it. And I feel like the water brings it up a little bit more higher for them, so they don't have to bend over as much to drink. I'm going to be using this wire to make more hay feeders for those bottom rabbits, or at least for those cages. So we'll be processing some of those rabbits this weekend. Alright, so with the garden. So in this last row, all I did here was I sprinkled a bunch of various different seeds from lettuce, mustards, any real leafy greens and things I tossed in here. And we've just been cutting it and giving it to the chickens and the rabbits, which has been working out pretty good. Going forward though, I'm probably going to do some starts and try to get bigger plants. That might go better for me. But this is doing pretty good. And then I've got sporadically some tomato plants here. So it's actually like 3. Okay, so I got this one here. I need to clean out around them. This one here. And this one. These are all silver fir tree from In My Gardener. They're determinate tomatoes, so I'm just kind of let them grow and do their thing and see what happens. These ones here, honestly, I'm not sure. I think these are the giant crimson from In My Gardener. They struggled. If these are the ones I'm thinking of, they struggled, but 2 of them came back. Okay, and then a cherry tomato. Got that here, got one here, and I got another right over here. I am going to come through and clean up around them. And there are some borascas that were in that seed mix, and they're going to seed now. Over here, this is an interesting situation. I was originally going to put green beans in all 4 of these, and something got in here, and I had left the seed packets out here by mistake, and they had just shredded the seed packets. So each of the beds has random green beans in them, but I planted some carrot tape. Basically, it's a fabric strip of tape that has the seeds on it, and I planted those in here. So we'll see if those come up. And then the okra that I planted is actually doing pretty good. I'm hoping that produces this year. I've got one in each of these beds. This one does have green beans. I replanted some green beans in here. So those are coming up. And then the okra. More carrots in this bed. And then this is the first wave of green beans that I planted. Haven't seen any flowers per se. But I also noticed this okra is a little stunted, and I think it's because it's being drowned out. There's no sunlight really getting through for most of the day. So I've been pulling some of these green beans to try to get it some sunlight. We'll see. What I might have to do in the future is like what I did down here. Plant the okra first, let that come up a little bit, and then go through and plant the green beans. But animals can have that. The perennial flowers are coming in pretty good. I don't know why there's tomatoes growing in here. I can only assume that they're from last year. Seed from fruits that had dropped last year. It's the only thing I could think of. But we've got our lavenders coming in. The random tomato. I planted some lemongrass from a start from the store. I'm not 100% sure what I planted here. I'll have to go back and check. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. But this is starting to go to seed. Back there is fenugreek. And same thing here. I'm not 100% sure. This might be hyssop. but I'll put it at the bottom of the screen what this is. And then our Johnny Jump Ups are starting to flower. And the yarrow that I transplanted from last year is really starting to flower now. And I didn't realize how tall the yarrow was going to be, so I might do some changes in the fall when all this goes dormant. I might take this horehound that's here and transplant that somewhere else. And maybe these hollyhocks or the borage. I might put some of that right along here because I know hollyhocks get pretty tall and I know that borage is pretty tall. So those might stand a better chance right here and move the horehound over here instead. But we've got chamomile coming in. These are hollyhocks. Got our chamomile, which is starting to set flower buds. The borage is coming in beautifully. And I can never remember which one is which. I think this is fennel. Yeah, this is fennel. And I'm guessing this is dill. Let's see. Yeah, that's dill. So, not sure why this one's so much bigger than this one. I don't know. But hopefully it'll catch up. And then the peas are common and really nice. They're setting on flowers. We did harvest a few of their pods yesterday. And throughout the garden, everywhere, chamomile's popping up and I am not complaining. The raspberries are starting to ripen. Got a few red berries on here. This one over here is loaded with berries. So I can't wait to see when they start ripening. There's just berries everywhere in here. Yes. These guys, nothing happened with them. This was, I think, like a golden raspberry. Nothing happened with it. And then another raspberry plant here. Again, nothing happened with it. And I ended up planting strawberries into this one, but nothing happened with this raspberry. So out of like 18 or so plants that I bought, only 3 of them, if I remember right, only 3, maybe 4. I think there's 4 because I think there's one blackberry that didn't start either. But that's not too bad. Again, another random tomato plant. I'm just going to let it grow, see what happens. It'll probably sprawl out and take over this space, which is fine. Milkweed from last year is doing pretty good. I don't see any from the seeds that I started, but we'll figure that out. I might just have to start some more next year. And I think these are 2 more tomato plants just randomly showed up. And again, I'm just letting them do their thing. If you remember at the beginning of the season, I planted some onions that were starting to send up green shoots, and they're starting to set flower heads now, which means I'll get some seeds that I can plant for this fall, possibly even next year. Feverfew and chamomile. We've already started harvesting some of the flowers from the chamomile. Some more borage here, which I'll need to prune back because it's starting to cover up this chamomile that's here, which is fine. I can give that to the animals, which is the plan with most of the stuff. When I go to prune it back or harvest anything that's growing too much, I give it to my animals. That was the whole plan of starting all of this. Again, the peas setting pods. The potatoes are looking pretty good. These guys, I'm probably not going to do the blue Adirondack. I'll probably try a different type of blue potato, but they're not doing an impressive showing. A comfrey that decided it's going to come up there. Another thing of potatoes. I'll have to, again, review to figure out which variety this is. I think these are the Yukon Golds, or either a gold or a russet. But these are doing okay. More comfrey growing in here. These guys are doing spectacularly. But at least for foliage, they're Very impressive. And then these are the golden bantam corn, both this bed and that bed back there. They're looking pretty good. They're about almost hip high. They're doing pretty good. It might be time to go ahead and see about putting like green beans or something in here to go with those. And then on this back wall, looks like the ones I planted here have died, but I have cucumbers coming up. Okay. My plan with the cucumbers is I want them to trellis up this fence and grow along the fence line. And on this fence wall over here, the raspberries are coming in, or these are blackberries, I'm sorry, they're coming in pretty good. This blackberry didn't do anything, so this is one of the 4 that didn't do anything. That one back there is sitting on some good fruit, but I think it's also getting eaten by deer or something. And not every bed had it happen, but most of them got the sunflowers coming up. And then we got our tomatoes. Some of them, I did start some more, and I'm hoping maybe I can filter in some more tomatoes here, or I'll just split them as they come up. Either way works for me. Fall, I'm going to pull up all this comfrey, and we're going to plant it a little bit in better places. I might even just put them into the pathway, might put them along the edges. I don't know, we'll figure that out later because it's all over the place. But this, and I'm working on weeding all this out, but this is the beds, this one and this one over here where I had the problem with the rabbits coming in and eating all my pepper plants down. I had this problem last year too. I thought I'd fixed it, but my gate over here apparently wasn't well sealed. I think I fixed that now, so it should be much better as far as keeping the rabbits out. And I'm planning on removing all of this poultry wire, potentially anyway, and putting up electric fence, which might help a little better. But a lot of my hot peppers got chewed back along with a lot of my sweet peppers. And I've started some more seeds. The hot peppers, I think I have more of, and I can put in. The sweet peppers, for whatever reason, did not seem to want to come up. I have a few, but not a whole lot. So we'll be coming through and adding some more in. I've still got plenty of time in my growing season. I think I should still be able to get a good harvest out of that. And then the tomatillos, so I got one here and one on this side that I got from the farmer's market. So hopefully those will kick in soon. And then my herbs, again, I'm probably going to move this valerian. It might make its way down towards that back one as well, because it is just so tall. I had to put a stake in there and tie it to the stake to try to keep it under some control. Give me a second. I need to go stop that water because it's flooding outside of the pool. Got my wall of rosemary, which should probably look a little dingy this year, but then next year it should explode. Again, more of that comfrey. Love it, but I need to find a better place for it. And what I do with my, preferably, is I like the curly leaf parsley instead of the flat leaf, because this is cilantro. But it's so hard to tell the difference between cilantro and parsley. So if I have the curly leaf, I know this one is parsley, and then I know that's cilantro. And then we've got 3 different types of sage here, and they are filling in very nice. All my thyme starting to spread out. Basil is coming in good. I'm hoping it's going to bush up a little bit better as the weather starts to warm up. I do not know what's going on with this weather, y'all. It has been in the 50s at the best at night, sometimes in the upper 40s, and then it gets to about 70, between 70 and 90 during the day. I don't know what to tell you. It's a very interesting year, and it's taking its toll on some of my plants. They're just not growing as fast as they have in previous years. You can see my oregano from last year is bushing up really good. This is some oregano I planted from the grocery store this year. So I'm hoping maybe next year it'll bush up like this one did, because that's not doing very much. Then my variegated oregano, I'm hoping that's going to creep over, take over this whole space. So I'll have variegated oregano and regular oregano. Next year, basil is just going to go in between the tomato plants. So I'll find another mid-range height perennial to go here. Or I might just add more of something. Maybe I'll take this thyme and move it into here and then make all of this sage. I don't know. We'll see. And then the strawberries. I really need to fill all of these towers and put the strawberries in here. And then on this back side, I have my snapdragons from Walmart and then some mint plants. My lemon tree. Now, I'm planning to put a greenhouse here. So I've got a few plans this year. So let's start with the plants that I have. One of them being, I'm planning to buy one of those, or actually two of the cheapo greenhouse things off of Amazon. And it's going to go from here to here is 10 feet. So I'm going to put it over here so I have a path going in. And they're 10 by 20. And 20 feet ends approximately right where this tile is. So right about here. So my plan is I'm going to actually remove these beds here at the very end on this one and on the back side there. And have this kind of enclosed during the winter. And during the summer, I can remove the cover. And I'll either have something like this mesh, or I'll take some poultry wire. I have so much extra poultry wire from when I pulled it from around the animal area, because I put electric fence around the animal area because we had issues with raccoons getting in, and this stuff is not going to keep out a raccoon, so we swapped it out for electrical fence. So I've got tons of poultry wire. I'll probably put the poultry wire up and over the frame of the greenhouse so that I can, during the summer, grow things like the tomatoes up and over the structure. Because during the summer, I won't need the greenhouse cover, and I can use that as my kind of like an arch trellis system. But I'll need to dig down and anchor it properly. And I might modify it with like a wooden beam across the top or something. I think the ducks are happy. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen the boy really get in the water. Maybe once or twice, but it's usually just her. And he just walks around like he's patrolling or something. I don't know. But yeah, so the plan is I'm going to put a 10 by 20 greenhouse over this bed and over the back one. Because then during the winter, I can also keep them a little more protected. I might be able to grow things a little bit longer out here. Because come February, March, that'll probably be the time I won't really have anything out here, because that's when we get the really, really cold weather. But up until then, not every single night gets to below freezing. So I'm hoping maybe that'll help extend our growing season out. So once I have those built, that'll free up these cattle panels. I have 3 of them going down this way. So I was thinking, once I've got that set up, I can bring those cattle panels over here and set up a 7-foot by 12.5, 13-foot greenhouse. These cattle panels are about 50 inches, so 3 of them makes 150. That's roughly 12.5 feet. I can do a 12.5-foot greenhouse. I'll have to measure to see just how far that takes me here. My plan is to put it here. If it doesn't work here, then it'll have to go on this side. It's fine, whichever works. But with that being said, I'll probably take these 3 bins and put them over here. All of this will get cleaned up. This is shelving that I'm thinking I might put in the greenhouse. This I was originally using to barricade this against the rabbit. I'll find a better place to store it. It's there for now, but I figure I can put those containers in here. Not sure if mint is going to be the thing that stays in these or what the case may be, but those will go here, which will free up this entire side. I could probably even remove all the poultry wire here if I set the cattle panel on greenhouse here. I may or may not keep the arch here. We'll see how that goes. I might move this arch to the back side over here, but we'll see how that goes. And then if I'm getting rid of this bed at the very end on all of them, then I could probably pull these blackberries and run them over here instead of on the other side of that fence, which would help keep them protected from animals. So that could work out. I will probably just keep these beds the way they are. After all that's said and done, these are 3x6, so I might get 3x6 cold frames to go over these to extend their growing season. But I figure first we'll take care of that side, this side, build the greenhouse, and then we'll see where we go from there. 'Cause that's a lot of projects. Oh, this is going to seed. Let's go ahead and grab that out of there. I can go to let's get that to the chickens. They'll love that. And since with those ducks and chickens I showed you, they're going to replace these guys. So I'm in debate. I've been working on playing around with the duck house idea, but those ducks are so dependent, like they bonded with the chickens in that truck with the chickens over here. They probably won't use this, so I might just break this down and use it for something else. And they'll just use this coop space. I'll probably board up all the way around the bottom because that's all exposed, and maybe set up on the inside. Let me show you. Set up a door on the inside so that the ducks can go. You can't see it through here. Set up a door underneath so that the ducks can go under the chicken coop. They might be able to make it through that door. I don't know that they would go inside there. It's not really set up for ducks. I might also just take this whole thing apart. This was our very first attempt at making a actual chicken coop. So I might just take this whole thing apart and build something different to go in here. I'd rather build something a little more mobile anyway. So we'll see. This is a pretty sturdy build. It's been holding up through the seasons. I won't do anything until an actual issue shows up. All right. I've got so many projects going on, you guys. I need to break this down. This is no longer going to be how I'm going to house my chicken or my rabbits. Originally I was going to build hutches and put them up along here. I built one and decided I really didn't like it, so we're not going to do this setup. And we're using this temporarily where we've got them on the metal shelves, but I want to do something a little bit sturdier long term. So this is going to work for now, and I'll keep it for as long as it holds up. But eventually I'm going to replace this whole thing and build an entire rabbitry hutch in here where I can have roll-up sides. I want to do a poop collection system so I don't have to keep removing these trays. I can maybe have a bin underneath that I can wheel over to the compost or into the garden. But those are all long-term, down-the-road plans. This is working now, so this is what we're going to use. All right, I need to go bring I need to bring Jasper his food, make sure he's got fresh water, and I need to go make sure the kids are doing their schoolwork. So I will catch you guys later. Till next time, bye.